嗨，大家好，我是多边形，好久不见。今年是文明系列的30周年纪念，而2月24号是文明系列的缔造者席德梅尔先生的生日。在 2K 中国的帮助下，我们在他生日这一天与席德梅尔先生展开了一场隔空对谈。我们和他一起畅聊了一下这个行业30年以来的一些变化，让我们一起来听一听他对我们说了些什么。Hi, Mr. Sid Meier. I'm Charles, the chief editor of IGN China. This is my great honor to have this conversation with you today. And before our interview begins, I would like to say happy birthday.
Thank you. This is my birthday coming up, and it's a birthday for Civilization, so we're celebrating.
Yes, of course. The Civilization franchise has been. This year is the 30th anniversary of this franchise. So I have a bunch of questions I want to ask, but there's one I want to start is, so when you were first creating Civilization back then, did you have ever anticipated that this franchise will last for 30 years?
No, we had no idea. Civilization was very different from all of the other games that were out there at the time. It was a new game for us. We had been doing military games. I had done pirates, but Civilization, a 4X game, strategy, it was brand new. So we knew that we liked the game. We had fun playing it, but we had never imagined that 30 years later we would still be talking about it, and we would have this wonderful history of games, of meeting our fans, being able to continue to make video games. So it's been a great 30 years that we never anticipated.
Yes, as you mentioned that for today, the whole gaming industry has changed a lot. And what do you think of today's this kind of growing specialization of gaming development? What's your opinion on that?
I think it's a great time to be a game developer or a gamer. There's so many good games out there. If you like strategy, there are great strategy games. If you like a casual or action or shooters or any kind of game that you like, you can find it today. So I think it's a good time to be a gamer. We have this great technology to work with, game engines like Unreal and Unity. So this is really a great time to be either a developer or a gamer.
So what are some of the biggest shifts in the industry over the last 30 years? Is there something that you wish to know from today when you are creating the first Civilization games?
Well, I think what I wish I would have known when we made the original Civilization was that I'd still be making games 30 years later, because I was a new designer. And had I known that I'd be able to make games, which I love to do, for so many years, I would have been very happy and not worried. I mean, we've seen so many changes over the years in technology that have, companies have come and gone, but because of Civilization, I've been able to keep making games, which is what I really love to do.
Okay. So, for example, there's so many fans of the Civilization games in the world, and for example, for the Civilization 6, there's many fans. They creating their own mods for this game. What do you think of this fan-made mods? Do you like that?
Yeah, I think it's a big part of the community of Civilization. Is not only can you play the game, you can also become a game designer and make your own mod, make your own changes. I think inside of every gamer, there's probably a game designer, and the mods let you express your ideas about how you think the game should work, what rules you would like to change. So it lets game players become game designers, which is a whole new dimension to the game.
So when you first creating the first game back to 30 years ago, the whole technology of the industry was totally different. So what do you think the next 30 years or even longer the gaming will look like?
Well, you're exactly right. We've seen so many technical changes over the last 30 years. But the one thing that really hasn't changed much is how important gameplay is to games. Whether it's the one more turn for Civilization or the thing that has been constant for all the different Civs, from Civ 1 to Civ 6, is that one more turn gameplay, that 4X exploration, diplomacy, military, the idea of starting small and building something huge that you yourself created. I think those things have stood the test of time and will continue to stand the test of time. So I think for the next 30 years, gameplay is going to be just as important as it has been for the last 30 years.
You know, there's some kind of trend in this industry that people are like not talking about the gameplay, but they are talking about like the Metaverse or the NFTs. So what do you think of this new trend of this industry?
I think there are many ways to expand a game, exploit, add new features once you have that great gameplay. And I think that's what we're seeing, is that we have a lot of good games out there that once you have an audience, once people have started playing and they're enjoying it, they're going to look for something a little bit more. What more can you give me? What more? I like this, but I want more. So I think it's because the games are fun, enjoyable, have great gameplay, people want more. And so we're looking for, whether it's the Metaverse or, NFTs, whatever, we're looking for ways to give players even more than the game itself.
Yes, of course. There's another question I want to ask a bit. This may be happening in the Western, but maybe not. But this is happening in China. There's so many gamers are like addicted to the game, especially when they play in the Civilization. Just like me, normally when I start a game in the midnight, and when I thought I was just play one round of the game, but now when I finish the game, it's already the other day morning. So is this some kind of addiction in your thoughts about the game when you creating the Civilization series?
We tried to create a game that was fun to play. I don't like to use the word addiction. It is a game that players enjoy, that they want to play another turn, they want to see what's happening next. It is when they think about the time that they spent with it, I think they have happy thoughts, the happy memories of the gameplay. So it's a fun experience for players. That's the way I look at it, and that's what we tried to create when we designed the game.
Okay, there's my personal interest about yourself. That what's the first story of your first contact of gaming? What's the first game you have played back then?
When I was younger, I would play board games like Monopoly or Parcheesi, or with friends, social gaming with friends. And when I got a little older, I started to design my own paper games. One was about football, and one was a military game. And then I got a computer when I was in college. And these two things came together, gaming and computers. And I became a game designer. I sat down one day and said, I'm a game designer, I have a computer. And and then, of course, the rest, that was 40-some years ago. So the rest is history.
So there's a key question coming next. Are you going to produce the next generation of the Civilization games? Do you have any thoughts you can share today about the next game?
I would love to tell you what we're working on, but we have an entire marketing department that would, wants to put together a wonderful trailer video with voiceover by a famous actor and great graphics. So they won't let me tell you. They want to tell you what it's going to be when the time is right.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much. And that's all the question for me today. And thanks for your time to have this conversation with me. So before we end this interview, may I ask you have some greeting words for the fans of the franchise in China?
Certainly. We appreciate our fans, especially in China. We would not be here without the Civilization players, people who play, mod the game, send us suggestions. So hello to all of our fans in China. Thank you for playing our game, and stay tuned. We'll have some news before too long.